Welcome to the Bag Maker's Workroom. I am Chris with Simply Classic, and today is Thursday, March 6th, 2025. Welcome to the live stream tonight, everybody. We are always very happy that you are here and really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to spend it with us on this busy Thursday evening. Just to remind you that we do go live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't watch live, no worries. You can watch the recording on our YouTube channel at any time. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever a new video goes up or we go live. So tonight we're going to be talking all about the Burcham and different ways to use the Burcham and change the Burcham pattern. We want to kind of get creative with it, for lack of a better word. So the Burcham is a crossbody bag that is here behind me, and it is such a classic bag. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. There's so much that you can do with it, and so many of you have made the Burcham. So I am curious, if you have made the Burcham, go ahead and put in the chat what you made it out of, what materials you use. So I know that a lot of times when I'm standing here talking, I can't really follow the chat, but last week I was traveling, as you know, and so we pre-recorded our session, and I was actually able to be in the chat with all of you, and I thought that was really cool. But obviously it's a little bit harder to do that when we're live. I do have my team now talk a little bit about tonight's agenda. So first I'm going to share some news in the Simply Classic Scoop. And then we're going to talk about our featured product, which again is the Burcham pattern. Next, we'll look at different ways to hack the Burcham, so you can kind of get the look that you want. I'm going to show you some recommendations for some leather, faux leather, and lining that really pair well together. And then on our Thursday thread, we're going to talk about the history of Dooney and Bourke. We're going to showcase some of our customers' bags in Artistry Avenue, as we always do. And then at the end of the episode, we're giving away some Burcham patterns. So these are PDF patterns, so it is open worldwide. So make sure you stick around for that. If you have any questions during the live stream, please ask them in the chat. And if I can't get to them right away, we'll save them at the end for our Q&A session at the end of the episode. All right, so we're going to move on to the Simply Classic Scoop. And this is the segment where we share what's new here at Simply Classic, what's going on, where we're going to be, all that kind of stuff. We have a lot to talk about this week. So the first thing I want to tell you is, of course, last week I drove to Tennessee to teach 2 workshops at Chattanooga Sewing Machines, and I want to thank everybody who came. On Friday, we made the Simply Classic clutch using leather, and you can see most of the members of the class here. Everybody finished their bag, and they did a fantastic job. And then on Saturday, we made the Burcham, and we used our geometric triangle faux leather, and everybody's bags turned out amazing. And not only did everybody finish, but the 2 ladies there on the right, Debbie in the red sweater, made 2 bags, one for her and one for Marsha, who is the one in the green sweater holding her bag. So she got 2 done in a day. So Chattanooga Sewing Machine is just a great host. And if you're ever in the area, make sure that you stop by their new location. They are at 4130 Jersey Pike in Chattanooga. And I just want to give a shout out to Danielle and Josh, Erica and Hal and Trinity and Katie, and it's just everybody that works there. They are just very accommodating, and we really have a wonderful time. So thank you very much. I also want to remind you that the Sacramento Bag and Sew Expo, we will be in Sacramento on September 12th through 14th. I'm going to be teaching classes every day, and Friday we're going to be teaching the Julie, Saturday is the Simply Classic Clutch, and then Sunday is the Sorella. I also had picked up a class on Saturday to teach a bag by Purse Crafters. It's called the Addie, and I think she's going to be putting it on the website this weekend, so watch for that if you're interested. You can register for the classes for the event on the website, and the link is in the description, and then I will invoice you directly for your kit fee. So if you have already signed up for the classes, you received an email today for that invoice. So the invoice, again, is for the kit fee, and the kit fees were stated in the description of each bag. So you paid Sacramento Bag and Sew for a certain amount to pay to actually take the class, and then you pay us directly for your kit fee. The kits are going to be fully cut, stabilized, interfaced, ready to go so that we can get it and sit down and start making the bag, because the classes are only 4 hours. So we're gonna need to get sewing right away. The other thing I want to tell you about that I am so excited about is our Florida retreat. So Barbie Taylor from Genie Design and I are going to be teaching a retreat, or we're going to have a teaching retreat down there. We're going to be at the Holiday Inn in Ruskin, Florida, which is right by Tampa, October 23rd through the 25th. Barbie is going to be teaching a bag, probably either cork or faux leather. And then I'm going to be teaching a brand new Simply Classic pattern that I'm writing specifically for the retreat. And then, of course, afterwards, it will be released as a Simply Classic pattern. But I will be teaching a leather bag. So we are super excited about that. Save the date. I will say there's only 11 spots available in this retreat. It is a fairly small retreat. So we will certainly let you know before tickets go on sale. And we're trying to get those numbers finalized right now. I think we're going to have them really quick here in the next probably few weeks. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So the next thing I want to tell you about is we started something new. And it is this year, something we had on our agenda, and it is a leather project box. So periodically throughout this year, we are going to have leather project boxes. And we put some on sale last week. You guys loved them because they sold out in less than a day, which we're sorry, but thank you so much. We had no idea they were going to sell it that fast. Basically, let me tell you what a project box is. So it is something that we're going to be offering, and it's a limited edition maker's kit, essentially. Each project box is going to include the leather and a pattern to make the particular bag. So we're going to take a look at what this project box was, because I do want to show it to you. It is what we're calling the classic tote. And it is after the Todd's Timeless Tote design that a few people sent to me. They put it in the Facebook group. It is really a fantastic bag. It is an unlined bag. And therefore, we did use double-sided leather for this. The bag, let me just say, when I release a written pattern, I always want to make sure it's compatible with leather and with faux leather. And I always want to include lining and pockets. So I really want to make sure my patterns are very versatile. This bag really isn't a good fit for a regular Simply Classic pattern, but it was really perfect for our first project box, okay? So this pattern will not be released as a Simply Classic pattern. Project boxes are not going to have written patterns, but what they will include is a video tutorial and printable pattern pieces. So if you ordered this project box, which we already did mail them out, you are going to get the double-sided leather, that whatever color you chose, the hardware, and then you're also going to get a card in your box that includes a little QR code, and that QR code is going to take you to a page where you can access the pattern pieces and the video tutorial, okay? So as I said, these sold out really quickly, and we really were not expecting that. So we are typically, once a project box is sold out, we're done with it. However, we are going to probably restock this project box. And so we want you to email us if you are interested in purchasing one of these project boxes. I think they were like $150. We have a waiting list. We have like 7 or 8 people who have already reached out to us. If you've already reached out to us, you're already on the waiting list. You don't have to let us know anything else. But if you would like to be added, if this is something you think you're interested in, please email share@simplyclassic.net. We'll go ahead and add you to the list. And then when we restock, what we're going to be doing is emailing people to let you know we're restocked. And at that time, if you're interested, you'll be able to purchase the kit. If we have leftovers after that waiting list, then we'll put them on the site. Okay. So we have, Chris has asked a question. She said, I just made my first Simply Classic pattern, Beluso, and I love it so much. Thank you for this great pattern. I use the purple ostrich and it's beautiful. Chris, I would love to see your Luso in purple ostrich. I really would. I think that'd be amazing. An absolutely gorgeous bag. So we also have some big news about our leather making classes. And let me just back up 1 second and let me just say one more thing about the Project Leather Box. It is not a class, okay? So you have to have some experience using leather or making leather when you buy the Project Box. I don't show you how to glue. I don't show you how to edge paint or any of that. I tell you in the video, okay, it's time to glue, or okay, it's time to edge paint, and you go and you do it. So you do need to have some experience working with leather, and you have to be comfortable with leather in order to purchase the Project Box, okay? But we do have new classes posted, and these are up on the website now. So we, of course, announced another band-to-bag class because people are still wanting to take that class. And we want to keep giving that class until everybody that has taken it, or wants to take it, has taken it. And the band-to-bag, if you recall, it is a beginner bag. If you have never worked with leather before, then this is the bag class you want to take. In this class, we go over pretty much everything. So I'm going to show you maybe in the overhead camera here, just a little close-up of the bag. You know, we've gone over it before. It's basically just a square kind of bucket style bag. It's got really cool accent here, and we only have hair on hide left, so there's no more suede. We do have the colors posted, and we'll go over those in just a minute. And of course, it has this cool knot accent. Okay, so we do have that class open. It's in April, and it is from, I believe it's from April. Oh shoot, I can't remember exactly. It's coming out. We'll show you in a second. And then the other thing that we want to tell you about is we have our new class posted. So if you've already taken the bandit class, we've got something new for you. And this is called the Lacy. And I'm going to hold it up here just for a second. It is a crossbody bag, and I know it's kind of hard to see because it's dark. So we're going to go ahead in the overhead and I'm going to show you all about the Lacy. So the Lacy is a crossbody bag, okay? And it is, the thing about it that's so amazing is the leather lacing that we do throughout the entire bag. I'm going to try to give you a little bit more of a close-up here. And we have two different types of braiding done. So we have like a Mexican braiding going down the sides to hold the sides together. And then we have a different kind of braiding here at the top. Okay, the back is just solid. Let's see here. It does have a crossbody strap. Very minimal hardware because we want the leather and the braiding to really do the work in showcasing this bag. The inside has got just a slip pocket, okay? So it is more of an unlined bag. We don't have any extra lining in here. You do see like the back of the salver here, which is not a big deal. And then of course you have the solid back in the leather, whichever leather color you choose. But it is a bag that is something I saw and I just loved it. And whenever I get through with a banded bag class, I always ask, you know, what would you like to see? And a lot of you said you would like to learn how to do some braiding. So, you know, that's basically what we're doing here. The crossbody strap is adjustable with the Sam Brown studs. Okay. So the Banda bag is going to be April 4th through 14th. And again, that is if you have never worked with leather before. We actually have it in black, golden brown, the hot pink, and the sky blue this time. They are all accented with hair on hide. We are officially out of the suede. The class kit includes the Italian leather, the stiffeners, lining, hardware, glue, base coat, edge paint, applicator, silver marking pen, and more. I mean, you name it, you got it. It's in there. The only thing that's not in there is a sewing machine and scissors. How's that? For the Lacy, it is going to be from May 2nd through May 12th. It is, it's not really a difficult bag. I'm just going to say maybe it's a competent beginner. The color options we have are the distressed russet, which is kind of a brown color. We have an elephant gray color. We have a textured red. And then we have the very dark brown embossed ostrich, which is what you just saw. So the class kit for this is going to include the leather. It's going to include kangaroo lace from Australia. It is really a strong lace, easy to work with. I really enjoyed it. It was really nice. We're going to, of course, the kit's going to include the stiffeners. It's going to include the hardware, silver marking pen, and a few other things. Now, the lacy class does not come with glue, base coat, or edge paint. And the reason why is because the banded bag, we're saying, is a beginner bag. You've never worked with leather before. You don't have these things on here. And you just want to try it without making a big, huge investment in all of these products to see if you enjoyed it and if you want to continue. If you are taking the second class, that tells us that, yes, I think I want to continue with my leather journey. So now it's time to go ahead and get some of those things like the leather glue, edge paint, applicators, etc. And then, of course, with both classes, you will basically be getting a pattern that will never be released outside the course. There are 6 pre-recorded video lessons, 3 live Zoom check-ins, lifetime access to your student portal, and of course the class kits with the material is all included in the fee. So registration is open now for both sessions, and let me know in the chat if you have any questions on that. Okay, and then the last thing we want to tell you about in our Simply Classic Scoop is it's March, and March means quarterly mystery subscription box time. So the quarterly mystery subscription box, if you are not familiar with it, is basically a program that is a year long. You are able to subscribe the last 2 weeks of every quarter. So in this case, it's going to be from March 15th through March 31st. It is a mystery subscription box, and what that means is you are going to receive a never seen before Simply Classic pattern. Okay, it's always a brand new pattern. You are going to get the materials you need to make your bag, which include the faux leather, and it's always going to be faux leather, lining, and the hardware. And then, of course, we have other things in the box that we know you'll love. People who have subscribed to the box are always excited about the other things we send. So believe it or not, it has been a whole year since our first subscription box. So we are, first of all, very thankful that you all have loved the program. We are sending out about 100 boxes a quarter at this point, and we are so excited about it. And just takes a lot of time to get prepared for it, but we get excited. It's just fun. But if you signed up last March, then your annual subscription has ended. So we are going to be sending you an email reminder on Monday to resubscribe if you'd like to keep getting your quarterly boxes. And that's only if you subscribed last March. So if you subscribed in June, December, or September, then you don't have to worry. Your subscription is still active. You don't have to do anything. So again, the subscription opens March 15th. It'll be March 15th through the 31st. And just a reminder that when you pay, you basically have 2 options to pay. You can either pay quarterly, and what that means is that your credit card will be charged on the same day each quarter for the box, plus shipping, or you can choose to do a yearly payment. And the advantage of the yearly payment is that you pay for a year, obviously, all up front, but you only pay for shipping once with that first box, and then after that, you don't pay shipping again, we cover it. So choose whichever plan is best for you, and we look forward to another fabulous year of subscription boxes. So we're going to go over a little bit more about that next week because it'll be right before the sign-up period. And then the last thing we want to mention is that we are going to start featuring a pattern of the week. So every week on Thursday in the live stream, we are going to put a different PDF pattern on sale for about 40% off the price. It's going to be about $12.50, and that's really an amazing deal. This is for the PDF pattern only, okay? And our first pattern is going to be this week's topic, of course, the Burcham. And from now until next Wednesday, March 12th, the Burcham PDF pattern is on sale for just $12.49. When you go onto our website, just look for the banner at the top of the screen and you'll be able to see what the pattern of the week is for any particular week. You don't need a coupon code. The discount is automatically applied. So make sure you get a copy of the Burcham before the sale is over, which is going to be next Wednesday. And then next Thursday, we're going to put a different pattern on sale. And we're going to do that each week. Okay. So Rock asks, do you ship to Canada? Yes, we do. And honestly, what we have found is that the shipping to Canada is, we have a kind of a set price on there. And honestly, if the shipping comes in cheaper, we're going to refund you your shipping. So when you get on there and you see a shipping cost that's a little high, just understand that it's kind of what we have to do to make sure we're covered, and then we refund any difference. So to our Canadian customers, yes, make sure that you are aware. Now, I will say that we do, and I'm sorry for this, but we do ask on the Canadian shipments, the yearly subscription is really, or the prepayment of the year is more for U.S. customers. It's a little hard for us to ship to Canada because sometimes the Canada ship date is like $50. It's kind of high. So anyway, just kind of keep that in mind. If you have any questions, any other questions, Rob, just let me know. Okay, so we are going to talk about our featured product, and our featured product tonight is the Burcham. And the bag that inspired the Burcham is a crossbody bag that was a Dooney and Bourke bag. And it was part of their full ostrich collection that they put out in 2021. And it was something that I just really loved. And you can see some photos of it here. So we are going to go ahead and show you in a little bit more detail about the Burcham. We're going to switch to the overhead. And this was one of the first ones that we made. It does have the zipper, just like on the Dooney and Bourke. Of course, I made it out of ostrich to kind of continue with that feel and vibe. It is 7.5 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall, and then it is 3 inches deep. It does have a crossbody strap. The skill level is confident beginner. Inside, of course, you have a zipper at the top, and then you have a zipper pocket, a slip pocket, and a key fob on the inside of this bag. It's really a great size, and it's one of our most popular patterns. I mean, it really is a fantastic bag. And of course, it is very versatile. So, again, the pattern is $12.49 right now for this week only. We also have a printed pattern version that you can purchase if you prefer to have the full pattern pieces. You can certainly do that. That's at the regular price. We do have 2 Italian leather makers kits for this bag. And the makers kits come with your leather, the lining, and the hardware. The first one is a brown lizard, and we're going to show that in the overhead. And I'm going to tell you that we only have 1 more of these kits left. So if this is something you might be interested in, you want to probably go ahead and grab it. It is a amazing, and we call it lizard. I don't know that it's really lizard. It's just got a really cool pattern on it. And it's in this kind of lighter brown color. It is really pretty. And then the second one we have is in this red. And I'm going to tell you, this red is the same red that we're going to be doing the lacy out of. It's got kind of a texture. Let me see if I can pull that up. You can really tell, but it's kind of got texture to it. And what I did with this one is I added on the back side, I guess you could say, a little strap here, and I put one of our conchos. Now, remember that whenever you work with leather, a lot of times you can't, especially lambskin, you can't get the width you need or the length you need for your strap. So I had to get creative with this strap. And I actually had to put not only a rectangle ring on the strap, but also a roller buckle, okay, to get the length that I need for that crossbody strap. So the Burcham kit in the leather does come with the concho, so you can go ahead and add that if you would like. Okay, in Sharpen your, or the other thing I want to mention, sorry, is that we also have hardware kits for the Burcham, and we have it in bronze, nickel, and gunmetal. Okay. And of course, we have links to everything in the description below. So in Sharpen Your Skills, we are going to talk about two things. And the first one is I'm going to demonstrate how to get a perfect zipper opening like in the Burcham. You've got the zipper opening here on the front, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So we're going to switch to the overhead, and we're going to go ahead and see how that is done. So I have here, let me pull this over. Okay, I have here a piece of faux, and let's just say that you have read the pattern, and the pattern says to drop down, draw a horizontal line, drop down, another ½ inch, draw another horizontal line, and then I tell you, of course, where to put your two little ends. The thing about this is you really want to make sure you get in the corners really well, and that's the key to this. You want to make sure, obviously, that these lines, all your lines are straight, but also that these corners are really sharp. So what I do is I will take a craft knife, and let me just say, we found out that Zoid, my favorite kind of craft knife, went out of business, and so they're no longer, we can't get them anymore. And so I bought this Olfa, and I'm testing it, and if I like it, we're going to carry them, and then we will of course carry the, not only the cutters but also the blades. It is similar to the Zoid. It has a twist. You twist this to get the blade in and out, and of course it has the rubber grip. It's not metal, it's plastic, but that's okay. So anyway, we're gonna test it out. But got a little sidetrack there. If we take a look and see how we're gonna do this, the key is that you always want to put the point of your blade right in the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the corner, okay, and drag this down. And before I get to the next corner, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put my blade in the corner once again and drag down the other direction. I'm going to repeat here. So I'm not trying to bring the point to the next corner. I'm stopping just before the corner and then turning and putting the point in the corner once again to drag it. Okay, so if I stick this in, make sure my line is good and straight. I'm going to stop just short, put that knife in the corner again, and pull down. Okay, and then for my short ends, I'm going to do the same thing. Go ahead and start in the corner, come down. And by starting in the corner each time, it's going to allow you to get that nice sharp edge. Okay. So that when you look from the front, you have perfect points there. Okay. So use your craft knives. It's going to be the best way. A lot of times with rotary cutters, you overcut, and it's not our fault. It's just the way the rotary cutters are made. The other thing that I want to tell you about and show you is that in the Burcham, on the original inspiration bag, there were these two cool little tabs, okay, on either side of the zipper. And I want to show you how to do those too. You can see here in the photo, those tabs. So what I have is one of these shape cutter kits from Amazon, and you can get you can get them in several different pieces. Some of them are huge. This is the one I have. It's a pretty small one. And the shape cutter that I use for it is this one right here. Okay, let me see if you can kind of see that. There you go. So you see the shape. It's kind of an odd shape. It's fat and it goes down to narrow. Okay. And what you do is you're just going to go ahead and cut your piece. And when you cut your piece, it's going to end up cutting out like this. And then what you will do is just stick this on the inside of your zipper opening. Put a little piece of double-sided tape to hold it. And then when you sew your zipper in, you're going to have a cute little tab. Okay. Super easy. So use your shape cutting kits. Again, we've linked some of this down below, but you can get small ones like this or larger ones on Amazon. And they're fine to buy there. They cut fine and do exactly what you need. Okay. So we are going to move on, and what I want to talk about now are how to maybe do some pattern hacks with Burcham. So probably out of all of my patterns, the Burcham is the one I've hacked the most. It is just really a classic shape, and there's just so much you can do with it. And as I always say, a pattern is a suggestion, not a rule. So I really encourage you to get creative with it. So I have 3 hacks for you today that I want to show you that I've done with the Burcham. And these are 3 very different bags, but they're all versions of the Burcham. So I've actually done YouTube videos on all of these, and those videos are linked in the description below. But let me kind of walk you through what I did so you can decide which one you want to try first. So first we have a designer-inspired bag based on the Never Full Tote by Louis Vuitton. And you can see the original bag here. I adjusted the pattern size and proportions. I finished the upper edge with a binding and a stitch in the ditch method. We made some faux roll handles. And we actually have a free pattern piece for the strap ends. It's on our website and it's linked in the description below. So you can go ahead and grab it there. You can see it kind of highlighted here, the larger photo. And then of course I used our geometric triangle faux leather in the color black and white and used solid black accents. The second one is this bag here. It was another designer bag hack, and it was inspired by this python bag. So last week in the spring trends, we saw that snake print bags were all over the spring runway. So it's really a very on-trend bag. So in the tutorial, I use our multicolored lizard faux leather in the color blue and black because it was very similar to the original. We also have it in black and like a red and pink. I increased the size once again. I made the top of the bag angled instead of straight across. You can see it's kind of got a little dip in it. Of course, added handles, added purse feet, and then voila, I had the bag. And then this last one is this SAS Heidi bag hack. And it is inspired by a leather bag that I saw at SAS. And SAS is it's called San Antonio Shoe Store, and it's got accessories and shoes, and one of the things they had was this Heidi bag. So what I did was I increased the size. I added a turn closure instead of a zipper at the top. And I decided not to make the zipper pockets on the side, because if you can see in this inspiration bag, there's 2 zippers on the front, on the sides. And when I was looking at the bag, I really felt like they were not very functional. I really didn't know what would be put in those bags. So instead, I just did my original zipper pocket like I usually do. And then I kept the strap connectors from the Burcham pattern instead of doing like an inspiration bag. They had them sewn in on the inspiration bag, and to avoid bulk, I went ahead and did the method where I sandwiched the strap connector over the top of the bag. And then I added a center divider like you see here in this circle photo. I made the handle, leather handle instead of a chain strap, but of course you can use chain. We have chain available. I used our dogwood floral faux leather, which actually has been discontinued, but it really was a great match, I guess you could say, to this inspiration bag. Now, one thing is you can either do it in contrasting colors like you see here with the black and white, or you can do it all in one color. And if I was to do it all in one color, what I would probably do is use a solid and quilt the bottom and then leave the top unquilted. And I think that would be a great way to match the bag, kind of make your own fabric to make this bag look special. So there are so many different ways to modify the Burcham to get exactly the look you want. If you've tried any of these hacks, or if you have your own version of the Burcham, I would love to see it. You can post the photos in this Simply Classic bag making community on Facebook, and I'm excited to see what you come up with. Okay, so we are going to talk about perfect pairings next. And lately what we've been trying to do is show you a leather perfect pairing and a faux leather perfect pairing, because I know that sometimes when you're shopping online, it's really hard to figure out what actually goes together. So this is a way that we can help you do that. So if you remember from last week, sunset hues are all the rage for spring. So we want to make sure we show you a sunset hue today. So we are going to do that with our faux leather. And that is our faux terracotta ostrich. It is really a beautiful color, right on trend for spring. I would pair that with our dark brown solid for handles and the connectors. We have some linen left. You know, our linen's being discontinued, and this is the only color we have left. It's called Desert Sand. We have, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them. But I would say if you'd like to get this, this would go perfect with it. And then for thread choice, I would use the dark brown thread with this. I think it would pair nicely. And of course, we have that in text 70 and in text 45. Okay. For our leather pairing, we suggest this amazing ostrich. Now, this is not real ostrich. This is embossed. So what that means is that it is on a lamb skin and it is embossed. The ostrich print is embossed on it. This is called our light brown. Our very dark brown is the bag you saw earlier tonight in the lacy. We have it in 2 colors. I would put the Harper saffron lining with it. It has a lot of brown in it, and it would really pair well. You can see the brown in there, and it really pairs well with this. And then, of course, I would continue to use the dark brown text 45 or text 70 thread. If you choose this option, you're going to need 2 hides to get the Burcham done. And mostly because of the strap, you're going to have to go ahead and piece your strap. And so 2 hides is going to be the way to go. And I would do the strap in this ostrich. We tried to pair it with a solid brown leather that we have, and it just did not go very well. So I would say just do it all in this one right here. Okay. So moving along, we are going to go to the Thursday thread. And every week on the Thursday thread, we share a sewing story. Sometimes it's a story from my life. Sometimes it's a story from your life. Or, of course, it can be sewing history, which is what we've been doing lately. I mentioned earlier that the Burcham was inspired by Dooney and Bourke bags. So today we're going to be talking about the history of Dooney and Bourke. And this one is interesting for a few reasons. So first of all, Dooney and Bourke is a very young brand. It was founded in the 70s, and so there isn't as much history as, say, Chanel or Louis Vuitton. It is also the first American brand that we're covering. All the others have been either French or Italian. And finally, Dooney and Bourke's bags are on the more affordable end of the spectrum. So if you remember that triangle grid we showed you a while ago, the pyramid, you know, all the tiers of designers, this would be on the accessible luxury column or tier. Okay. So Dooney and Bourke was founded in Norwalk, Connecticut in 1975 by Peter Dooney and Frederick Bourke. Dooney was the designer and Bourke was the marketing and business guy. In the beginning, when they started, they sold leathers, men's accessories. And Peter Dooney handcrafted all of their belts and suspenders, which were inspired by military and equestrian gear. The products were a hit, and they became known for the craftsmanship and high-quality leather. At first, Dooney and Bourke only made products for men. Then in 1981, they expanded their inventory and launched their first handbag for women. So the bags are part of their new all-weather leather collection. Their all-weather leather, or AWL, is from cowhide. And they have a top-secret process where they basically shrink the leather and it seals the pores, and that makes the leather waterproof. And of course, most leather bags are not waterproof, so that's one of the brand's biggest differentiators. You might recognize their duck logo here. And this logo represents their all-weather leather because they say, just as water rolls off a duck's back, this leather naturally repels moisture. So the logo still appears on their all-weather leather bags today. And that's so much fun to say. I want you to say, everybody say that 5 times fast. So 2 of the first AWL bags were the tack bag and the equestrian bag. And they were made out of bridle leather. They had their signature closure, which you see here, and it's kind of like a tab that goes into a piece of hardware. In the 1980s, their products were picked up by department stores, and they grew in popularity. You can really tell by looking at their bags from that time period that Dooney and Bourke is an American brand, and specifically their aesthetic is very New England. Their bags weren't as sleek as a lot of European bag designers at the time, and they were, I'd say, maybe more rugged and casual, but they were still at scale. It just, they would look more at home, maybe at a country club than at Paris Fashion Week. So even now, Dooney and Bourke doesn't really follow trends like a lot of the other brands do. They do have a very classic aesthetic, and they're kind of stuck to it over the years. Here are two of their more popular bags right now. We can see they still use a pebble grain with a smooth leather trim. Now, one exception to their classic aesthetic was in the early 2000s, Louis Vuitton had just released their Murakami monogram multicolor collection. Dooney and Bourke saw how popular it was, and they decided to capitalize on that. So they introduced their own take on the colorful logo trend, and it was a hit. But Louis Vuitton was not pleased. They sued Dooney and Bourke for trademark infringement. But in 2008, the court found that there was no infringement, and Dooney and Bourke could keep selling their colorful logo bags. And one of the things, if you know anything about fashion, is that there's no I don't want to say copyright. There's no infringement on that. Once something's out there, people can basically make their own version of it. And so I remember hearing at one point, once you come out with a pattern or you come out with a design, go ahead and start working on your next one, because it won't be long before your design is basically altered a little bit in somebody else's design. And that's the reason why when you watch red carpet events, you see, the stars in these gorgeous gowns, and then next week you see a lesser version in the department stores. I mean, they all sit there and wait for that to happen, and then they just copy, and that's just kind of part of it. So that wasn't their only legal issue in the 2000s. In 2009, Frederick Bourke was convicted of bribing a government official from Azerbaijan, and he actually went to prison for a year. And we couldn't find any more information about what happened to him after that. But Mr. Dooney is still designing for the brand to this day. All right, we are going to move on to Artistry Avenue. And Artistry Avenue is where we feature bags made by you, our customers. Each week we share photos that were posted in the Simply Classic bag making community on Facebook, or email to share@simplyclassic.net. Our Artistry Avenue features a bag. I'm sorry, let me say that all again. I did it all wrong. Our Artistry Avenue featured bag makers win a PDF pattern of your choice, and this is open worldwide because it is a PDF pattern. So here are our featured artists this week. We usually pick 3, but we decided to pick 5 because there's so many amazing Burchams out there. So the first one is by Becky, and Becky used our glossy black faux croc. She used a chain strap, and oh my gosh, what a gorgeous classic bag. Absolutely beautiful. Pam made this Burcham out of faux leather and cotton canvas lining, and this was her first time making a buckle strap, and you can see she did an amazing job here. That was really fantastic, Pam. Tracy did this Louis Vuitton inspired bag. She made it a little bit bigger, and she added a zipper overlay that you can see here in black, and it was just a beautiful contrast. Jerry Lynn did the Louis Vuitton Never Fall hat that I showed you earlier. She used our gorgeous, I love this geometric triangle faux leather, and she used brown accents. And then Ellen said this Burcham was one of the very first bags she ever made. It was made with cork, and she added a zipper overlay. And I want to point out how she attached these strap connectors. So the strap connectors in the pattern are written so that they sandwich the top of the bag. Where what she did is, instead of doing that, she twisted it so that both sides of the strap connector are connected on the exterior of the bag. How ingenious. That's just amazing. Great job, Ellen. So thank you again to all of our featured artists. If you were featured tonight, please email share@simplyclassic.net within 30 days to let us know which PDF pattern you would like. And later this month, we're going to be featuring the Ali B and the Fairhaven patterns. And those are 2 bags we don't see a lot of on Facebook. So We're going to keep looking for your photos. If you've made an Alley B or a Fairhaven, please post your photos in the group so we can feature them for you. Okay, we are going to move on to our giveaway. But before we do that, I want to let you know we're going to be giving away 3 PDF versions of the Burcham. And to enter, you are going to type the keyword pattern in the chat, and we'll have the computer pick a winner. And we ask that you just type it one time, okay? The computer will pick you up at one time. And since this is, of course, a PDF pattern, the giveaway is open worldwide. Okay, 1 entry per person. So we have a question that was submitted to us on YouTube, and Kathy asked about the end punches that I use to cut my ends, my straps. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to show these to you because I get asked this question quite a bit. So these end punches are actually leather end punches, and I bought mine from Tandy Leather, but you can buy them from leather suppliers pretty much, you know, anywhere. Springfield Leather, Rocky Mountain Leather, they all have their own version. And basically what they are is what they call end punch. They come in different, this is an English point, this is a rounded edge, this one here is 1.5, this is 1 inch. You can get them all different sizes. And what you would do is after you cut your strap, you go ahead and you just go ahead and punch the shape in, and it makes the perfect shape. Now, there are some punches you can buy on Amazon, but I don't recommend you buy these on Amazon. I recommend you go ahead and go to a leather supplier, you know, Weaver Leather. I think Weaver Leather sells on Amazon. That would be okay. But go to a reputable leather supplier because you're hitting these and you don't want the shaft to bend. These are nice and sturdy, good thick steel, and I have never had a problem with them. If you want to, you know, cut shapes in your end of your straps or your handles, then I suggest getting these. It's a good investment. Okay. So thank you so much for asking that. And let's see if we have any other questions. So Lynette asks, I really like your color pairing section in the bag pattern of the week. Well, thank you, Lynette. I appreciate that. So Made by Misty said, I have a finger knife from Friskers and love it. My cuts are much more exact than trying to hold a pen. Yes, those finger knives are really interesting. I actually have one I have experimented with, and it's I can't remember the name of it, but it was developed by a lady who, she has a son who's disabled, and she didn't want him cutting himself, and so the blade is plastic, but it cuts through leather. It's really interesting. So anyway, those finger knives are really good. And then Betsy says, will machines be provided at the retreat? Good question. Yes, we're going to have industrial machines at the retreat. We are. And that's the reason why we have 11 openings, is because we're only going to have 11 machines. So those will come in. And if you've never worked with an industrial machine, it's really going to be a great opportunity to do so. All right. So we are going to see if the computer picked a winner. And winners are Lydia Boggs, Chris Garner, and Christy McLaughlin. So congratulations to all of you. Make sure you email share@simplyclassic.net. Let us know which version or which pattern you like, and we will get it to you right away. Please email us within the next 24 hours, okay, with that, and we will get it to you. It's easier if you can email us right away for that. So thank you so much for joining us for tonight's live stream for the Bag Maker's Workroom. Join us next Thursday, March 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have another featured pattern, and next week we're going to be looking at the Julie. So don't forget to submit your Simply Classic post into the Facebook group or email share@simplyclassic.net. That's also where you can send questions, stories, and topic ideas. So until next week, everybody, we thank you and happy sewing.